We all love cake, but I bet you can just eat one piece, Steph, and then you move on. For me, I just couldn't stop. Today, we are going to talk about eating at social events.
Welcome to the What's Eating You podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, and I'm a psychologist, published author, and public speaker here to educate and validate. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the What's Eating You podcast. If you're new here, welcome. I'm always excited to hear when newbies join the podcast. So please let me know if this is your first time here. Tag me on Instagram and leave a rating. Let's get into today's episode. So this weekend, I had a really beautiful baby event. It was a baby gender reveal party. And of course, it was with my big Greek family, my partner's family. And I uploaded a video of me eating a cupcake. And I said, we all love cake. And someone commented and said, Steph, I wish this was me. You can eat one piece of cake and then move on. Whereas I wouldn't be able to do that. I can't do that. I eat them all. It's all so bad. I have no control. And the difference is I have gone through a process to get to this point. And I did not just eat one. I don't post everything I eat because number one, I do try to be present. And it was a social event, ripping your camera out and filming you. Like I have no problem doing it, trying to be present with the fam. And the second thing is I do want to also enjoy my food. I promote and I preach mindful eating and I do want to do that. So I try not to film everything, but I had thoughts. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm eating 2 slices of pizza after a full day of eating. I should really show this. But then I was like, meh. And then I didn't, but I wish that I did. So I want to comment on this, right? Because I overeat. People see me on Instagram and think, oh my God, like she must just stop at one. That's not the key of success. The key of success is being able to move on, even if you eat more. So, just for a little bit of context, I'm going to give you some tips and strategies on how to manage social occasions where there's lots of sweets and treats, and then also take you through the journey of how to get there. And if you want more help with this, book a free one-on-one call with me where we can go through a food evaluation call and work out what you need to get success when it comes to your relationship with food. Number one, the first thing I do is I never go to an event starving. So this was a really long day. We had gotten up at 6 a.m. in New South Wales, washed my hair, jumped on the plane. Our flight was cancelled. So we had a little bit of a challenge, but it was a great challenge. We got put up in a hotel room because our flight seats got given away. I didn't know that this could happen, but apparently if you don't check into a flight, your seats can be given away. But this was due to the global IT crash. So what happened was they overbooked the flights, and then by the time we got to the airport, there was no seats left on our flight we had booked. So they said, we're going to put you up in a hotel and you'll fly in the morning. And I was absolutely okay with that. I was more than happy. I was super grateful. Another episode on attitude that's going to come up soon. But the point of the story is the day didn't go as planned, but I did have food prepared. We did end up having a buffet breakfast. And before I go to any event, I make sure I eat something, whether or not there's going to be lunch, whether or not there's going to be food. I make sure I don't show up to events starving. This is the opposite to what people would normally do who struggle with their relationship with food. They think, oh my God, there's going to be so much food there, so I need to starve myself the entire day. And this is actually an ineffective strategy because it leads to overeating and binge eating. So you never want to go to an event starving. Now, the event started at 2 o'clock. And I thought, is there going to be food there? I'm not sure. Either way, I'm not going to risk it. What was I even thinking? It was a Greek event, and Greeks love to feed. We're all feeders. And there was so much food. If you saw on my Instagram, oh my gosh, there was gubebia, which are wrapped vine leaves. There was seafood, calamari. There was frittatas. There was quiche. There was, I'm thinking of all the English names for these foods. There was spanakopita, which is like a Spanish cheese, a pastry wrap. There was so much food, crackers, cheese, dips, everything. There was alcohol as well, but I don't drink. And I saw all this food, and the old me, my eyes would have lit up and I would have thought, oh my God, yum, I'm going to eat it all. But I actually said, I'm not hungry. I had lunch just before I came. I'm not hungry. I'm just going to get into the conversation, speak with people. But when the desserts come, yeah, I'm here for that. So I didn't really eat any of the pre-food, not because I deny myself anything, but I wasn't physically hungry and there wasn't anything I was like, "Oh, I need to have that." And this is what intuitive eating is really about. It's listening to your whole body. Many people think that intuitive eating is just eating what you want, whenever you want, and having no rules and being out of control. It's actually the opposite. It's about having the control to say, despite all this food being here, do I want this psychologically? Do I want this physically? Do I want this emotionally? Do my insides want this right now? And for me, I didn't. But by the time the desserts came, I was excited. There were these cupcakes I was eyeing off, red velvet cupcakes. And anyone who knows me, I love dessert, and that's just become the thing. So now every time there's dessert, people always give me the biggest slice of cake. They're like, Steph loves dessert. And I had a cupcake and I thought, yum, that was delicious. You know what? I'm probably going to have another one later on. And I'm totally okay with that. So the second thing I do is I honor my food decisions. I don't go into an event thinking I really shouldn't eat this. I'm trying to diet. I should be feeling good. I go in with the opposite. I go in with I have an abundant relationship with food. I can eat cupcakes all day, every day. If I overeat these and I can't stop, that's also okay. It just means that I need to work on my relationship with food. If you're someone who can't stop once you start eating, it just means that you have gone through dieting. It means that you need to heal your relationship with food. And part of that is eating everything in sight and basically not stopping. It's getting to the point where you don't feel this restriction. You don't feel like you can't stop because when you go in with a mindset that I can't stop eating after one cupcake, then you start to not eat cupcakes because you think I can't eat cupcakes because I can't stop. But the reason you can't stop at one is because you don't give yourself permission to eat all of them unrelentingly, fully, excessively, just unconditional permission. People usually give themselves conditional permission. Oh, on Sundays, I can eat everything. And that is still a food rule. So throughout food freedom, we let go of these food rules by giving ourselves unconditional permission in stage 2 of the program. So I eat more than one and I accept it. And I say, do you know what? I'm going to go all out. I'm going to enjoy this because I want to, not because tomorrow is Monday, not because tomorrow is a fresh start, but because I want to and I enjoy this and I'm going to listen to my taste buds. So after the first cupcake, there was a chocolate cake that came out. And I was like, yeah, boy, this is it. And as the lady of the host put a piece of cake for me, there was like a little side nub of cake that was all frosting. And she just said, here, Steph, I know you like your cake. So I got 2 pieces. And even while I'm eating this, some of the ladies were like, wow, that's a lot of cream cheese. And I was like, yes, slay. And I just own it. If people make comments about food or about what I eat, I know how many women struggle with their relationship with food. So it's my goal and mission to normalize that it's okay to like frosting and it's okay to eat chocolate cake and it's okay to have 2 pieces. Like dieting is not the answer. And you'll be you won't be surprised. You'll hear dieting comments everywhere you go. Even when the pizza came out later in the night, everyone was like, oh my God, like there's pizza. What am I going to do? They still ate it. And some people said, no, 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 I'm on a diet. I'm not going to eat the pizza. So the next thing that I did was eat slowly. Many people eat fast. Many people eat rapidly. People just have urgency when it comes to food. And this causes you to eat mindlessly. And when you eat mindlessly, you're more likely to overeat. You're more likely to enjoy the food less. You're more likely to eat past the point of being full. So when I put this dessert on the plate, I really tasted each bite. I really focused. I can still taste the cream in my mouth, the softness, the silkiness, the smoothness, the chocolatiness. And when you're being fully present, you're less likely to overeat. But being fully present also means being fully present with your thoughts. And if you notice while you're eating this, your thoughts are saying, don't eat this, you shouldn't be eating this, you're overeating this. You rewire that and say, no, I'm allowed to enjoy cake. I'm allowed to enjoy 2 pieces. I'm allowed to enjoy 3 pieces, and it's all going to be okay. So you have to give yourself permission physically, but you also have to give yourself permission psychologically. Now, if you apply these 3 skills, I promise that your relationship with food will change. But a lot of people need support along the way because they get scared. They think, oh my God, but what if I never stop eating cake? And they think the honeymoon phase is never going to dissipate, but I promise it will. And the final thing is, I'm constantly being mindful of my thoughts, my needs, and my emotions. And people might think, I just want to stop thinking about it. Eventually you'll get there, but this process actually becomes fun. So on the way home, after I'd eaten my pasticcio and my 2 pieces of pizza, 2 pieces of cake, and a cupcake, I really wanted another cupcake. And as we're driving home, I'm thinking, why do I want this? Do I want it because it's yum? Do I want it because I'm tired? Do I want it because I think, oh my God, I've stuffed up, I might as well binge it? And I thought, no, I actually just really want to eat it for enjoyment and satisfaction. So before I went to bed, I had another cupcake and I thought, yum, it's really good. And I woke up fine. I woke up and just moved on. The next day, I just was able to go on with my life. I was able to eat my breakfast. And that's the other thing. The final thing is, do not restrict the next day. Just because you've eaten at a social event, remind yourself this is normal, this is okay. But if you want to improve your relationship with food, you need to eat breakfast the next day. You need to continue food structure because it's a lack of structure that perpetuates the vicious cycle with eating. So, in summary, I hope this little snippet helped you. Remember, number 1, always eat before you go to a social event so you're not starving because that is going to make you overeat. Number 2, be mindful with the way you eat and what you eat and honor your food decision. Give yourself unrelenting permission to eat all the cake, even if it's more than you'd like, because eventually that is going to dissolve. And the third and final tip is when you've honored your food decisions, eat mindfully and satisfactorily. Make sure and take your time, taste the food in your mouth, feel the textures, comment on how beautiful this is, and practice eating in public. And when you practice eating in public, it just gives you the opportunity as well to get rid of all those beliefs like everyone's staring at me, they think I'm fat, I shouldn't be eating this. It actually helps normalize the relationship that you have when it comes to food and other people. And of course, if you want help with this, you know what to do. The link is below. Book a call and I'll take you through what food freedom really looks like for your specific situation and how we can help you. Hope you have the most amazing week and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. I am truly grateful for you being here. If you got something out of today's show, please take a moment to leave a rating or review. To access more resources or support, check out the show notes below. See you next time.